I'm Destiny. Let me ask you something really quick because I am just learning so much in school about things that people need to hear. Why aren't more people talking about it? Why isn't your doctor explaining this to you? Why isn't this taught in school? Well, it is in my program, but this is not a well-known program. It's not a program that everyone generally takes or has offered at their school. Prevention doesn't pay. That's actually the main reason. Someone's car alarm keeps going off. But I only have 5 more minutes until I go back into school, and I just really wanted to talk about this because telomeres, they basically are huge when it comes to prevention and preventative medicine. And prevention doesn't pay to big pharma. It pays to our own pockets, it pays to America's economy, but do we really want America's economy to get better? That's a great question because we're not acting like it, and by we I mean us as a whole and as an economy. But treating symptoms, that's $1 billion industry. Let's talk about telomeres, longevity, and what the healthcare system isn't telling us on purpose. So first, what are telomeres? They're like plastic cups at the end of your shoelaces. You know those little plastic pieces at the end of shoelaces? I'll insert a picture here, a video that kind of explains this, but your DNA is on a strand. And instead of shoelaces, these telomeres, they're protecting your DNA. So kind of like your shoes. The laces are protecting your feet. They're keeping them in your shoes. Every time your cells divide, those caps get a little bit shorter. And when they get too short, the cells stop working or dies. That's aging. That's disease. But here's the part they don't highlight. Your telomeres don't just shorten because of age. They shrink faster due to chronic stress, toxic food, lack of sleep, inflammation in the body, and disconnection from community, which that one is the most surprising to me, which we'll make a whole video about community and feeling welcome and how everything in life can be changed based on, everything you eat can be changed based on your surroundings. But here's the part that they don't highlight is that your telomeres don't just shorten because of age, like I said. And that's frustrating because, everyone, when they learn about telomeres, they're like, oh, it's just part of aging. Yeah, but what also is a part of aging? As you get older, they shouldn't be shortened too much. And if it's shortened more than usual, that's what I'm talking about. People that live longer, why do they live longer? And that's kind of what I'm diving into in my career, is not only preventative medicine, but longevity, because that's kind of like how I live. I'm like, do I want to live longer? Do I want to live a healthier life? Do I want to not have chronic diseases and cancers? That's why I do what I do. So basically, this is where the system gets a little sketchy. I watched a TED Talk recently, and I'll link it in the description, that broke it down so well. This lady is phenomenal. I wish I could remember her name, but I'll look into that, and I will be sourcing and linking everything below. But I like to just come on here and just talk, and I made some notes here. That's kind of what I'm looking at, just based on what was in class. But think about it. Doctors are reimbursed for procedures, prescriptions, surgeries, not for giving you life coaching, nutrition tips, meditation techniques. And even though those things can literally protect you and protect your telomeres and prevent disease and living longer, they don't do anything about that. So the speaker in this TED Talk really hit me hard when they said the system doesn't reward keeping you healthy. It rewards catching you when you fall. And falling, that's when the real money rolls in, right? We spend over $4.5 trillion a year in the US on healthcare, which is great because we need it. The CDC reports over $1 trillion of that is just being treated on chronic diseases, most of which are preventable. I'm not talking about you're smoking cigarettes. I'm not talking about drinking alcohol and doing those things that people do. I'm talking about all the other things that we just don't talk about enough. There are doctors that are coming of age, Dr. Mark Hyman and many others that I'll talk about in the future, but it's just great what we're moving towards as a system. The age of Aquarius is beautiful in that way. But less than 3% of our healthcare dollars I'm seeing here go towards actual prevention, and that's not a broken system, that's a profitable one. So someone's profiting and someone's getting rich, and it's not for the well-being of people. So they're selling you anti-aging creams, they're selling supplements, they're pushing all these injections and surgeries and pills with side effects, which, don't get me wrong, supplements are great, but we have to be educated on which ones to take. They won't tell you, though, that reducing your stress levels, eating more vegetables, helping your gut microbiome might actually slow your biological aging, even in your face, for you anti-aging girlies out there like me who just hit a big 3-0. So I'm like thinking, okay, I'm on the new stage of my life, we gotta eat healthier, and it reflects in our face. They won't fund community-based wellness programs, right? Rarely do they. In Colorado, I'm finding more places like that. But that just addresses the root causes, like loneliness or poor sleep. The science is there. I'm seeing here a 2013 study from UCSF even found that lifestyle changes alone, including plant-based medicine, movement, and stress management, can lengthen telomeres. This isn't a conspiracy, it's peer-reviewed, but again, where's the money in that? So let's bring it back to you. Your body is more powerful than you've been taught, which is the most frustrating part that I'm learning in school. Like, oh, why wasn't I taught this earlier? My body is so powerful, and I'm just like, want to share it with the world. You're not just aging because of your birthday. You're not just aging. You're actually aging because of how you eat, how you rest, how you love, and how much stress you hold. Here's what's known to have been shown to preserve or even restore telomere length, which is the nitty-gritty good stuff. Whole foods diet, which we always hear about. I almost roll my eyes every time everyone's like, a good diet. Roll eyes. But it's true. So I'll get to the science in that in later videos. The ones rich in fiber, healthy fats, antioxidants, regular movement in your body, not just crazy workouts, yoga, tai chi, just consistency. Walking is always great. Deep rest and sleep hygiene, breath work, mindfulness, emotional healing and connection. This is why I'm so passionate about integrative health. Like, literally, this is why I'm in school for it. Because I already did all this stuff and I already live for it, but actually applying it to like a career and actually being able to help others, that's why I'm making this channel. That's why I'm doing this as a career. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because the real medicine is in how we live, not how we get patched up once we break apart. And so I hate that, because saying the real medicine, no, I'm not saying the real medicine. I guess I'm saying that there are many sides to medicine, and all sides need to be looked at. And that's why holistic medicine is important, because it's looking at the whole. And so I guess I'll close with, when people say, well, if it worked, the system would tell us. Well, it's not profitable, so people are pushing it out of the public eye, which we'll get into that, how Big Pharma is kind of like repressing us. But it's empowering, and that's why I'm doing this. I want to fight for people and the well-being of others, so you have the power, ultimately, to change the trajectory of your own aging. And it won't always be easy. The system is stacked with holistic, accessible health, though, and that's why we need to utilize this. We need to know what is available to us, and I'm still learning myself, and that's why I'm sharing, as the more I learn. But the more we know, the more we share, and that's why this matters. Go to a community acupuncture. I can't afford acupuncture that's $120, $150 every session, but it's so beneficial for every single human being, because it helps in so many different ways that I think that anyone could benefit in it. And doing community acupuncture is so affordable, even to the point where you might be able to find free community acupuncture like I did. So there's no excuses. Find it out there. There's free in your community, and if not, there are other things you can do, and I'm going to teach you about that. Please comment down below if you want more videos about certain things I've talked about in here, or I'm just going to keep posting until it resonates with someone, and I hope that I'm really helping. If this spoke to you, share it. Leave a comment if you've ever felt frustrated by the system. I'm definitely about to make a video here about my whole car accident situation, which is still ongoing and very frustrating, and I'm in a lot of pain from it, but I have class in 5 minutes, so please just leave a comment if you've seen lifestyle medicine make a difference in your own life, and I will read and get to it as soon as I can. But bottom line is that telomeres and telomerase, which is the enzyme for them, the longevity and the money problem in medicine, this is just the beginning. So subscribe if you want to learn how to take your power back naturally. Bye guys.